everybody, it's kind of weekend, so I thought, rather than do a nice easy one, I thought we might do the Abdominal 5 series. So I'm not going to kind of just rush through it, I'm going to do kind of like different examples of each exercise. If you do the sort of full Monty, or one after the other, as your kind of like ab exercises, other than a plank, you don't really need any others, to be honest. Right, so the first one in the series, and I'm going with the sort of like the original Pilates 5 series, which was invented using Mr. Pilates exercises, but by one of his like little disciple-y type people. Can't remember his name, it was Polish or something. Okay, so the first things is to warm your abs up, okay? Don't just lie on the floor and go firing straight off into it. I'm just going to go forward to me. Okay, so do a few little bits and pieces. First of all, just like warm your shoulders up a little bit. You can move your arms up and down. You can do this standing up. I'm just doing it lying down. I don't know how to move your phone around, to be honest. So you can float your arms around. You can circle your arms. Anything like that. Absolutely fine. Now, you notice I'm not using a mat at all. I quite actually like doing my Pilates when I'm doing it for myself on a hard floor. It's not comfy for everybody, don't get me wrong. But what I'm just going to move closer to the camera. But what I tend to find is I can really feel if my back is actually pulling or not away from the mat, which I like to find out that it's not pulling. So circle the arms a few times, just circle them each direction. I'm just going to do a few because I already kind of warmed up a little bit before. I did that, mate. Okay, so thinking about your abdominals, arms relaxed by the side, deep breath in, exhale, peel up into your shoulder bridge. You're lifting the hips, might not lift very high, my hip flexors are too tight. Breathe in at the top, and yes, I do stretch them. And then exhale, roll back down, taking care that the head doesn't tip back, hence I use my pad. So breathe in at the bottom, exhale. These are just nice kind of loosening exercises. Roll back down. We'll just do that a couple more times. Like I say, if I'd perhaps do this a couple more, just to get yourselves kind of primed and ready. I don't want anybody exercising completely, jumping out of bed and starting these or something like that. So other exercises you can kind of do is just to mobilise the upper back, swing side to side. If you do this, make sure you lock your wrists and your elbows and keep your palms together. You can do these standing as well, let's say, it's just for ease of kind of filming it on a phone in one position. And then you can relax the arm, this floor's freezing by the way, and you can do your hip rolls, just gently loosening the sort of lower back pelvis area, but making sure that your abs are nicely primed. I'll do a little bit more on that in a second. Although hopefully you have seen my previous video of setting up, so you should know it by now. Okay, so just a couple of little abdominal curls. So you can support the head or you can put the fingers at the side. Remember, pull your belly button in, otherwise those abs will point up to the ceiling. So you exhale, just a little lift and lower. And remember in Pilates, we keep that sort of angle. So if you make a kind of fist like that, place it on your breastbone and under your chin, that kind of puts you so that your neck and spine are pretty much in alignment. So you just exhale, inhale, lower. Remember, out through the mouth. Inhale, lower. A couple more. You take your hand away, by the way, that's just to kind of give you, but try not to put your chin in like that. And also try not to lock it solid up to the ceiling like that. Just keep that nice curve through the whole spine. And remember, your neck is part of your spine, guys. Okay, so that was a very rapid warm-up. You can take a couple of minutes longer than that, I would if I were you. So the first exercise in the 5 series is called, by the way, this is not scripted at all, you can tell, can't you? It's called single leg stretch. Now you would normally come from it out of rolling like a ball if you were doing the full sequence. Easiest way to do that is bring the legs in one at a time. Now, most of you know this, not everybody does. Okay, outside hand goes on the ankle, the other hand
goes on the inside of that same knee. So if I wave my other leg around like that, there's no hands on it, okay? Both on the same leg. So coordination is key. So you want your core muscles braced. Go back to that video on your setup. So you want your abs pulled in slightly, about 20%, your pelvic floor lifted. Really think of drawing and lifting. So when you do this, you can do it with the upper body down like this. So you stretch the leg away. Now you can modify it. You can have it up almost to the ceiling. You can have it anywhere halfway. You can take it almost to the floor. If I do that, my back is not pulling away from the floor. It is neutral, okay? It's not crushed completely into the floor, but it's not like that so I can get my hand under. It's nice and firm, okay? It's really, really important. And then you switch and you draw the other leg in. Now it's called just to tap the peace plant. So it's called single leg stretch. So you stretch 1 and 2. And each time the outside hand goes onto the ankle. Like that.
You carry on a minute while I just
use the peace plant a bit. Okay. Let's finish flowering now then. So it's 1, 2. If you wish to take this to the full level, it's actually in that position. So the upper body's raised. Now again, you're looking past your belly button, kind of towards your toes really, like that. 1, 2. Really think of stretching and pointing your toes. Because that stretches your hip flexors out a little bit. Keep your abs pulled in. Keep your pelvic floor engaged. Now if this makes your neck ache in this position, don't keep doing it and thinking, oh this hurts, it makes my neck ache. Just relax it back down like that. And 2. So that's basically your single leg stretch. I quite like single leg stretch, I find it quite easy. Okay, so the second in the sequence is double leg stretch. So this one starts with the hands around your shins. Now you've got to be realistic about your abdominal strength. It's key to keep that neutral spine, okay? It's really easy to think, well, I'll do the full level. At full level, people do this, and the legs stretch out, and the lower back does that off the floor, and I get my hand underneath, and that just puts you back in such a weak position. You're never going to strengthen it, okay? So it's important for neutral. Now, in theory, if you cannot maintain neutral, you can imprint your spine slightly into the floor. It's better to imprint than to allow it to lift. So always imprint rather than lift. But if you can, aim for that neutral between the two. So we're getting to Pilates stance now, which we covered the other day. So your abs are pulled in nicely at your pelvic floor. I'll just do an easy one to start with. As you breathe in, you stretch the legs, you keep them together, and your hands go behind your head. Now, if your shoulders are tight or your upper back, and if you take them right behind your head, makes your lower back pull off the floor, then modify it slightly. Don't take them all the way, take them to there instead. Okay, so I'm in Pilates stance now. I've just rotated the front of the hip out, but my back is still neutral. Not everybody will do that. Don't do it if it won't. Just keep the legs a little bit higher. And then as you breathe out, you circle. Now this is the tricky bit, especially for fellas. Keep the knees together and draw the knees in. So you breathe in, stretch, Pilates stance. We're in the mid. Now easier, you take the legs up, but remember to engage your core. Don't make it too easy on yourself. Midway is kind of okay for most people, unless you've got lower back problems. And obviously, taking the legs down and my back still has not lifted off the floor. I'm shaking because I'm holding it and talking to you, but it's not lifted. Now the full level, upper body raised. Again, if your neck aches, don't do it. Breathe in, Pilates stance, exhale. So it's and that's your double leg stretch. So the next one is single leg pulls. Now, this is the contentious one. Okay, now, if I do that with my legs, I take hold of my calf like that, and I lower the other leg, this leg stays pretty straight. I've conveniently put a black stripy pair on today, like that, so you can see it's fairly straight. Okay, now if your hamstrings are super tight, you'll probably find your leg does that, okay, and it won't go straight. There's no miracle cure, you have to stretch every day. End of. Stretch your hamstrings every day. They will not stretch on their own. You need to stretch every single day, okay? Sorry, but they will only go tighter and tighter, and you'll end up like hunched because your back will be pulled, your hip flexors will be pulled, so persevere, it is worth it. So, your start position is that, assuming you can even reach your calf. If your leg's not straight, just get it as straight as it will go, okay? And then you basically scissor the leg. So you kind of pull one leg toward the other. So you scissor, hands come off, and you take the other leg. I'm only showing you the basic version at the moment. So you go 1, 2. My hamstrings are tight, so just come back off my bike early. 1 and 2. Now, I don't like teaching this to a lot of people, upper body raised, okay? The reason I don't like doing this is they hang on to the legs for grim light death, and the legs are kind of bent like that, and they're not really learning to stretch the hamstrings. So you really want to be aiming to stretch those hamstrings. And then you go, it's a double pulse. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. 1, 2. Now I'm getting the benefit of the double pulse, because my legs are fairly straight and my hamstrings could do with this, to be honest. If your legs are kind of curved like that, then you might even want to take them lower down. It's up to you, but doing that, bent legs, it's not, sorry, should be better than 1, 2, it's not really stretching your hamstrings. So at the risk of repeating myself, you want to stretch them, okay? So even if you only manage like one little stretch and it only goes to there, that's fine. If you don't take the other leg as far down, that might help, okay? Like that. And just really concentrate on drawing that leg out. The more flexible you get, the lower you can take that leg. Just as an aside, if you've got a band or a scarf or a belt, anything like that, stretching your hamstring, this is not the Abdominal 5 series, this is just to bully those of you with not flexible hamstrings. Okay, start with the foot on the floor, and imagine it's a bit like holding a stirrup, okay, and you straighten the leg away from you. Don't take it up to the ceiling yet, just keep it straight as it will possibly go, and then just allow it up. Now it might be that it stops there, and if you go any further it kind of does that. Get it to where it stretches, the absolute, that's it, after that it'll just bend, and then after a few breaths it'll give you a little bit more. It's called a developmental stretch, and to do that you have to hold it, I would say, a minute, okay? It's 30 seconds to a minute, but I would go with a minute if you're really, really tight. Obviously, if you are fairly flexible, you can bring the leg in a little bit like that, and you might not be feeling much of a stretch. So if you do that, that is when you start to feel, well, I do anyway, a little bit more. Okay, I'm not lifting my back off the floor, my back is planted, because otherwise, again, your hamstrings are tight, everything's interconnected, your back will start to lift. So only straighten and stretch that bottom leg along the floor if your hamstrings are relatively flexible to start with. So I know quite a few of you guys that I teach, not an issue. Some of you're absolutely not going to be able to stretch in that position. So bend it, but just get it as far as you can. Anyway, that's not part of the Abdominal 5 series. That was just a thing, really. Okay, so we've done single leg stretch, we've done double leg stretch, and we've done the scissor legs one at a time. So, double leg raises. If you have lower back issues, I would do one leg at a time, personally, if you cannot maintain that neutral spine. So this is the imperative one for neutral. So the usual safe one is to bring the legs up like that, take the legs up to the ceiling. You want Pilates stance, rotating the front of the hip out. You can either have the upper body down like that, or you can have it raised and either support or just place the hands at the side of the head. Your tummy's pulled in. Do you not want that back lifting? You inhale as you lower. Now, if that's as good as it gets before your back starts to lift, that's fine. And then you exhale as you lift. So it's inhale, exhale. Want to go a little further? Inhale, exhale. Inhale. And don't let the tailbone roll off the floor as you bring the legs up. It's straight back up like that. And then the full exercise, you take the legs all the way to the floor. And again, there's nothing, you're not going to get a newspaper underneath my lower back. I'm keeping it absolutely planted. This is why I like floors for this. And then you exhale, lift. So inhale. And that is double leg raises. So, that leaves us with number 5. Number 5 is crisscross. I like playing with crisscross because you can make it absolutely horrible. Okay, so every one of you at some point will be in the gym or class or something like that, and they'll have seen that person going elbows in, legs bicycling away. That will not work your abdominals, I'm really sorry. Okay, so it's actually quite a structured exercise. Again, those of you who've been to classes, we've gone through this, pay attention, doing it again. So, hands supporting or at the side of the head, okay, using my headband. Right, okay, so I like it in more or less your tabletop position because I think it makes it harder. I'm all for making them harder. So if all you think about is your elbow, then all that will happen is that it'll just come across and you're not getting much of a twist. I want you to really think of lifting and twisting your upper body. And as you do that, think of bringing your shoulder across. And you kind of hold that position almost like that. I'm still in that tabletop position. And then 1 and 1. Now, if you want, you can have a little pause each time and just do that little hold for a second and hold. And that just waits your obliques. That split second, they're just stabilising. It's a little bit harder. 1 and 2. You can go faster if you want, but take care you don't lose 4. So if you want, you can go 1, 2, 1, 2. But again, you're lifting and twisting. You don't want your body rolling. So it's hard work holding that and talking. You don't want your body rolling from side to side. So if you're just doing that and literally just rolling your upper body, again, you're not working your obliques. You're literally just kind of blobbing around from side to side. So really think, lift, twist, holding it and not letting my elbow touch the floor. I feel like a dishcloth will be wrung out. Twist. All like that. Okay. Any of you that have a kind of family band, put them in the attic, so I've just tied a knot in an old one. This could well end badly because I just think it's an ancient one, this. If you've got a loop band and you want to put it around your feet, or you're happy to sacrifice one of your resistance bands, this is great. This absolutely just kills your abs. So you want to think of a pushing and pulling at the same time with your legs. So as you lift and twist, you push, well, I'm being tentative here because I think it might snap. You push away, and this one, you pull towards you equally. And then you do the same. And obviously, the more resistance there is in the band, and although this is yellow, it is actually quite a stiff one. That is hard. I love that exercise. So,
that is your Pilates 5 series. So what I'm going to do before I die is I'm going to quickly run through it just as you would in a sequence, and then this is when you can practice every single day. So, just got tapped by my band. All right. Okay, so we're going to start with single leg stretch. This one. So you do, I would say 6 each leg upwards into your double leg stretch. Inhale, Pilates stance stretch. Exhale, easy. Inhale. Again, 6 or 8. You can do more if you want. Once you've done those, legs up, scissor legs. 1, 2. Like that. Into double leg raise. Inhale, Pilates stance. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Into crisscross. 1. And that's your Pilates 5 sequence, your abdominal 5. So with the crisscross, you would do about 10 reps on each leg. 1 more. And I was doing them on 1 and 1 and 1 on each breath. If you want to, you can do 1 and hold. And then you go to the other side and hold. And obviously if you use your band and do the hold, oh, that just takes it to a whole new level. So makes your feet look enormous when you sit like this. Right, so that is your Pilates Abdominal 5 series. Go ahead and enjoy. Have a lovely weekend. I'm going to have a gin now and put my pyjamas on. See you later. Bye.